K-pop demon hunters Haja Boy's breakfast meal and Huntrix meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
Hey, I just Venmo'd you for rent.
Nice. Now I can instantly spend it whether I'm checking out online with Venmo or using a Venmo debit card.
Say more.
More exactly. Because the more you do with Venmo, the more you get. Like earning up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash on a bundle of brands.
So, order more pizza.
The math demands it.
Get the Venmo debit card.
Venmo Stash bundle terms and exclusions apply. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms. Venmo checkout not available at all merchants. Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Craner, and my friend Cecil Baldwin loves horror movies, and he's helping make this genre more approachable for me, and hopefully for you too. One film at a time in a random order. Are you squeamish about horror movies? Don't worry, we'll tell you what happens. Adore horror movies? Well, great, watch along with us each week. As always, check the show notes for content warnings about this week's episode discussion and film. This week we randomly rolled a 6 for magic, and a 6 for horror icon. Here is episode 320.
Number generator. Podcast number 9.
This week on Random Number Generator, horror podcast number 9, The Serpent and the Rainbow, 1988. Warning! Spoilers ahead.
I am not an actor. Do I act? Sure. Do I do okay at it? I mean, in the limited roles required of me, sure, yeah. But acting was never my focus. I like performing, though. I like being on stage and telling stories. It's my favorite thing to do. I wasn't sure how I was going to get to do that without acting. The only real paths I could see when I was younger were performance, poetry, or stand-up. And then I met the neo-futurists, which not only does it require acting, it often requires that you be yourself on stage, whatever that is. And that's really it. I was always avoidant of acting because I didn't trust my ability to fully pretend to be someone else. I was never good with accents or character voices. I wasn't great at controlling my face or body the way great actors do. There was something about my performance that always revealed me on stage. You know how someone like Viola Davis or Meryl Streep just like disappear into a role? You forget you're watching them. That was never me, which is fine. I do stage work that doesn't require anyone to think I'm someone else. I like that I can be seen in everything that I do, and I'm happy I don't need to fly into the sun. I can just float here where I'm welcome and capable. Wes Craven is such an interesting director. He's a Hall of Famer. He's invented huge franchises, iconic characters. He also knows how to make the scariest fucking horror films and some of the funniest, too. He's a goddamned legend. I'm not a completist of his work, but I've seen quite a bit of it, and to this point in my viewing enjoyment, The Serpent and the Rainbow is the weirdest of his films, like the most outlier to me. It's good, definitely. It just feels a bit like award season fodder until it's not. Like, this is Ron Howard territory here, and then Wes Craven is not Ron Howard. Or let me rephrase that. Ron Howard could never be Wes Craven. I'm not sure why there have to be strata separating like talent or styles like this, but Serpent and the Rainbow feels like it got invited to a black tie gala, held it together until dinner, and then started eating the chicken with their bare hands and talking about hockey while chewing their food and asking the catering staff if they had a natty light back there. Craven just cannot hide who he is. His auteurness isn't in, groundbreaking camera work or diffuse lighting. It's just fun and good. He works best in disgusting practical effects, dream sequences, character development, and in the end of this borderline Oscar bait film, Craven says, "This isn't me. Let me ditch this bow tie, start a magic dream fight sequence, and show you who I really am." Hi, Cecil.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Who do you think is the best actor working today?
Probably someone we've never even heard of.
Oh, probably. I mean, just like in your opinion of people you see that you're like, God, I just fucking admire that person's talent.
I don't know. I mean, there's certainly actors that every time they come in, they're kind of like a plus one. Like you get, like this movie gets one more star just because Paul Giamatti's in it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, best actor, because it's so funny when I think about like who's the best actor working today. It really depends on what role they're playing and also who is the ensemble of other actors, because a great actor surrounded by other actors that are kind of not on the same page, it sticks out. So like what could be a great performance seems weird or odd or over the top or underplayed, like, and not in a Nicolas Cage super fun kind of way.
Yeah.
You know, it really is like it's an ingredient in the soup.
Yeah, to use the Meryl Streep example, I always wonder with someone like Meryl that part of the talent that she has beyond the ability to perform, to embody a character, is almost like an administrative talent to be able to work with her agent or manager, to work with the casting director, to make sure she gets in the right kind of film with the right kind of cast. You brought up Paul Giamatti, and I think of him as somebody similar to like Stanley Tucci, like great character actors, could also carry a film, could also just be a background person, and unarguably super highly talented, and also have done some of the greatest films we've ever seen and some absolute garbage because they're working actors and they just go into a thing, and sometimes you just end up in a film that isn't that good. But you did your best and you got your check and you moved on.
That's it.
Maybe a step up from Michael Caine, and they read the script and tried to make it work.
Yes.
Michael Caine did not read the script and never tried to make it work.
And it somehow made it work.
Somehow made one of the most fun films we've seen this year. You've seen this movie before, Serpent of the Rainbow, correct?
I have, yes.
It's been a while, been recent.
It has been it's been a long while.
Young Bill Pullman.
Oh my God, Bill Pullman and his tidy whities. Hell yeah.
I've never been like a big like Bill Pullman stan. Like he was always kind of like take it or leave it as an actor to me. Like I was never like, he was never a +1 actor for me. Like, yes. Bill Pullman's in this elevates the movie. Sorry, Bill Pullman, you're great. But I just was like, he was never like that person. But he's incredible in this movie.
Yeah. Like he's that perfect kind of like confident leading man. Mm-hmm. That we're like, yes, I completely buy you as this character who's like here for science and medicine and is also kind of like semi-respectful of the indigenous cultures that he's, you know, sort of entrenched in, but then also can like get down with an ayahuasca trip and, you know, wrestle with a jaguar for a minute.
Love the jaguar in this movie.
When it bites his paw, I was like, kitty.
Oh, kitty. This movie is so fun. This movie is so wild to me because I had such a great time watching it. But there's a moment about halfway through where I was thinking to myself, we underrated this film. Like, it's really doing a lot of really cool things. And this is Wes Craven really stepping outside of himself. Yeah. And then halfway through, we get into...
And then you meet the corpse bride, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, well, and I thought... But even the Corpse Bride stuff where we're seeing like that Wes Craven practical effects super horror thing, I'm like, it works in this movie, though. Like, that's where this sort of thing isn't just Freddy Krueger or whatever. Like, this is legitimately associated with this, and it's Wes Craven heightening what no other director could do if they made this movie. However, there's the moment halfway through where the scientist he's there to work with, Marielle, like suddenly they have sex under a waterfall.
Oh, yeah.
And we just could not give in to the 80s tropes of like, we got to see some titties. We gotta
see some boobies.
Also, he is such a respectful scientist guy until he turns into John McClane at a few moments in this movie, too.
Yeah.
It's great. It just made me laugh that we just can't... I can't tell if that's Wes or if that's the producers, what's happening there, but this movie...
It's just the zeitgeist of the 80s. They're like, no, we got to have a fist fight. Come on.
It goes off the rails in great ways, but it becomes kind of a... It no longer becomes Oscar Beatty drama, and it becomes 80s horror by the end.
I think it's mostly the location. It's like shooting all this stuff on location really kind of, I think that's what maybe you're responding to is the Oscar bait, the like large casts of extras, like we've gone, we're shoot, which apparently they had to like sort of abandon Haiti at one point and shoot some of this in the Dominican Republic because, well, our life was imitating art.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's that sort of like we are shooting, like this is not being done in a soundstage. This is not a cheap production. You kind of feel they're going for the authenticity here.
And I think he does such a great job. I started reading up a little bit about just how well this movie and the book, which I've not read, deal with race and representation and things like that. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't get super far into it. There's not a lot on this readily available on Google searches and such. I will say just from like my history of film, not my knowledge of voodoo or Haiti or Haitian culture, you definitely have kind of there's definitely like playing into the magical black man and the white savior and things like that.
I was going to say, what? White savior much? Did he just single-handedly take down an entire corrupt government in Haiti?
He did. He might have.
Did he do that?
Or, black characters that only serve to help the hero and then die, those sorts of things. Yeah, so there's that. But ultimately, this is just the omen for voodoo, right? Like, what if religion and all of the magic of that religion were real? Yeah. Let's make an action horror film out of it.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm the disbeliever. We sort of get entrenched in a mystery.
Uh-huh.
It's almost a little film noir in that aspect.
Yep.
The sort of cynic being dropped down into an already tight-knit community that he has to sort of unravel a mystery about.
Well, let's begin at the begin. And we've got inspired by a true story, Cecil, and this is based off of a nonfiction book by ethnobiologist Wade Davis. Mm-hmm. My guess is the book veers from the movie a little bit.
I would say so. It's probably not. I mean, this plot. I mean, that's one of the things Wes Craven does very well. Is like tight plot.
Yeah.
Like every character kind of plays a role.
Yes.
And if you take one of those characters out, it is to the detriment of the film as a whole. So like even, when we meet the sort of voodoo priestess in The Outer Liars, who's like, no, I won't help you. I don't know anything about that dude. You later see her as like an underling for Dargent Petro. Uh-huh. And you're like, oh shit. So like she was there the whole time.
Yeah, she's part of the secret police, basically.
Uh-huh.
Our opening scene is just we're out on like these docks and we see a group of men carrying guns come down and take a coffin away.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we then see kind of a street performance scene. There's like a very tall man, like dressed as a zombie, like the skeleton shirt and the face paint of death and
top hat and all.
And I love it because it definitely is like this kind of voodoo New Orleans parade costuming with his large torch. But in his other hand, he's holding a pistol and he's firing the gun to like clear the streets.
Yeah.
And they set this coffin on fire outside of this clinic.
And this is where we first see Petro, right? Like he's like lighting a cigar and it's like the best fucking lighting. Like it's like just over his eyes and he sort of steps into the light. And then this camera sort of tracks up into the hospital where we're like, yep, this guy's dead.
Yeah.
Poke, poke, poke. Totes dead.
Where you get somebody who has done a lot of like schlocky or horror movies like Wes Craven making a more like Hollywood historical drama sort of piece like this. The difference is when they're checking to see if this man is dead, it's not just the EKG machine going beep.
Nope.
They stick a fucking needle in his eyeball.
In his eye? Underneath his bottom eyelid? Well, if he wasn't dead before.
Yeah, he's going to react. Man. This man is named Christoph, and everyone's very sad. He is dead. There's a funeral, and that cigar smoking man is at the funeral too. This mysterious man, This shot of him being buried, it's a side view of the casket going into the ground and the dirt being piled on top and just that little bit of light across his face.
And like a single tear falls down his face.
It's really great.
Now, I have to say, I'm out of my list of fears. Being buried alive is not the top, but like tight spaces are kind of I get a little claustrophobic sometimes.
Yes.
In the same way that like I like heights, but listen, I have to like edge fear is a real thing. And I've definitely been in some like caving trips and things like that where I'm like, don't freak out, don't freak out, don't freak out. You're doing okay. You're fine. You're totally fine. And I love that this movie's like, okay, buried alive, zombies. People think you're dead. They bury you prematurely or, in some cases, very planned. And you have to go through this experience of being buried alive. And we see this from multiple points of view from different characters throughout this movie, all the way from like this very realistic, pathos-ridden kind of like, oh my God, he's not dead. That's so sad, to like the psychedelic dream version of that later, where it's like walls dripping blood version. But this realistic version is so scary to me. I don't like it.
That's our cold open. And now we're going to meet Dr. Dennis Allen. This is Bill Pullman. He's arriving in the Amazon. So it's got a little bit backstory. He goes to the Amazon. He goes to see a shaman. The shaman makes a little medicine for him. And he's like, oh, thanks. I'm going to take this back and study it. And it'll help so many people. And his interpreter.
The shaman's like,
Yeah, the shaman's like, drink it.
Drink this. Doing that ayahuasca, man.
I love how he's like, oh, okay, sure, for the road. He shoots it, and he's like, it's great. It's real. Whoa. Out.
He's on a psychedelic dream quest kind of thing here.
Did you ever get chased by a leopard or play with a leopard kitty?
No. Mm-hmm. No, when I did ayahuasca, I mean, it is very common for people's, not very common, but it is a thing that like sort of spirit animals reveal themselves to you. Although I've always heard that like if somebody talks about their spirit animal, then they're either lying or they're an asshole, because the more you talk about your spirit animal, the like weaker its strength is.
Yeah.
It's kind of a like the first rule of spirit animal is don't talk about spirit animal.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's a private, personal thing. So if people are just like chat, and you're like, no, okay. No, mostly when I did ayahuasca, I saw a lot of like kind of iconic architecture.
Oh, interesting.
Pyramids, ziggurats, things like that. And then I also saw creepy snot aliens playing musical instruments that treated my tears and vomit like applause. And just licked all that up. And that was my ayahuasca experience.
Oh, that's amazing. Dennis has a leopard or a jaguar chasing him.
I want to play with that. I want to wrestle with a jaguar, Jeffrey.
When it gets up to him, it turns into a little kitty. And then he's like giggling and playing with the kitty.
He's like, wait a minute. You're a friend.
I love this shot of Bill Pullman giggling with an actual jaguar kitten playing.
Just like pow, pow, pow.
And then it cuts to a wide shot of the shaman watching him, and it's just Bill Pullman rolling around with nothing on the ground.
Amazing. That's why we go to theater school.
We talk about humor and horror merging, but also magic and horror merging is really interesting. Mm-hmm. So this great gust of wind comes along, and the shaman takes his like cloak and wraps himself in it.
Not before he just tells his friends, he's like, pack it up, y'all.
Pack it up, yep. And the shaman covers himself, and then when Dennis comes and opens it, there is a totally different person being like, bleh.
Yeah.
And then the ground opens up, and hands pull him under.
You know what we don't get in movies these days as much as we did in the 80s? Is a hand-filled spirit tunnel.
It was great. And, he sees the face of Christoph in his... Mm-hmm. In his tomb. He also sees the cigar smoking man, which is Darjen Petro, but he doesn't know any of this stuff yet.
I do love that it's like he's getting a psychic warning of what's to come.
Yeah.
And then what's even creepier is when he wakes up the next day and he's like, oh, it was just a root I was, wrestling with instead of dead people's hands in a spirit tunnel. All the tribe is gone. And then he's like, that's weird. And then he goes out to his helicopter and his little pilot friend is dead. This kind of made me guffaw because I'm like, and then he sort of runs away and it's like, are you going to walk home?
Yeah.
From the Amazon basin? But fear not, because his little jaguar spirit friend is like, hey, follow me. And he follows the kitty up over a hill and there's a road. So do drugs, kids. It might save your life.
He goes back home to talk to Dr. Cassidy, the head of BioCorp, which I love that name.
I know, right?
And I really thought we were going to get the big pharma destroying,
Sure. Yeah.
third world nations or whatever.
Yeah.
Which this movie doesn't really get at all. In fact, it's like the big BioCorp isn't really like the bad guy in this movie by any stretch, even though they're called BioCorp.
Mm-hmm. In a very Cronenberg sounding.
Yeah.
You know.
If this were Cronenberg, this is absolutely our battle here, is with Dr. Cassidy of BioCorp.
But they're really more just like, great job on, wow, we heard all about you walking 200 miles through the Amazon.
Yeah.
You're awesome. What do you know about zombies?
Yeah, and so Cassidy tells him about this man, Christoph, in Haiti, who they have pretty solid evidence died.
Yeah.
Was buried. We've got a death certificate. We've got absolute proof. We have photographs. And then we now have photographic proof that he resurfaced and he is alive.
But like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Like years have passed.
And he's like, I have known about they're using some type of drug, cocktail, something that like could be used as an anesthetic. It could be really helpful for people. So
yeah, well, just kill them.
Yeah, it would be amazing if you could like
going in for your colonoscopy, dead.
Yeah, basically like treat your body as dead and have it come back to life later after the surgery.
Yeah, why not?
Well, you want to go to Port-au-Prince? Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's go to Haiti, baby. So he goes to meet Marielle Duchamp.
Marielle, hot doctor.
Dr. Hot Doctor.
Dr. Hot
These
Doctor.
are both Dr. Hot Doctor, basically.
And she's a psychologist, right? Like she kind of she's dealing with mostly like mental disorders.
Something in the realm of neurosciences, something.
Yes.
And possibly psychology. And yeah, she's got people in this asylum. Like one dude is like chained to a wall to keep him from going crazy. But
and she's like, we only have like 5 people working here. So, and we have like 150 people in this place.
Yeah, Craven does such a great job of setting up just how underfunded this institution is. But we meet Marguerite, who, when Dennis asks about zombification, she introduces him to Marguerite, who died 15 years ago.
I love this scene. This is another thing that Wes Craven does very well, which is the like silent witness. I don't know, mute witness. Someone who has seen some shit. And if only they could, like some sort of psychic damage has been done, and if only they could express that to our protagonist, we would take out acts 2 and 3. And I love this. It's like when, they're like, hey, Marguerite, I just have a question. And she kind of sees him in a way that you kind of get that she doesn't really register most people because he's got this sort of psychic hero vibe about him. And like sort of the like drums come in the background. And she's having a moment where she is trying to, like, you can see it's like she's trying so hard to speak. And that just sort of freaks him out. And he's like, well, I guess we're not getting anything out of her. But we, the audience, are like, she's like, run far away. Run far away.
Yeah, because she looks both sad and horrified by him being there because, yeah, I love how much this conveys to us the silent message of you best get the fuck out of here because you don't
like what
even
the stakes are going to become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she is, from Dr. Duchamp, from Marielle's point of view, she's non-communicative. Like she can't, or she's non-speaking. But apparently this Christoph fellow, if we could find him, he does still speak. You know, he has much better control of like verbal skills. Maybe he was buried. I forget the rationale. He was like buried less time, something like that.
But he also is like hard to find though.
He is hard to find. Like people have said they found him, but nobody is speaking about him. So they go to see Lucien, Celine.
Oh my God. Paul Winfield.
Right.
Amazing. I think he does a great job of like, he's our good shaman. He's
the white witch versus the black witch, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Spoiler, he gets an awesome death.
Incredible death.
/ also an awesome resurrection in which he throws his head at somebody. Love that. And then also kind of, I was talking about this with a friend of mine, like who watched this movie sort of in tandem with me. And we were talking about, I love movies in which people affect you in the physical world, but then can also affect you in the spiritual world.
Yeah. In
dreams, in visions. And I love that duality of sort of psychic warriors.
You know, obviously, Wes Craven is known for dealing in dreamscapes, and he's very, very good at it.
And he's so good at the dream / vision psych out. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, I fell asleep I just put my head down and then I put my head up and everything seems normal until you realize you're in a dream or you're in a vision. He does that so well, like the very beginning of this film where you're like, yeah, we know he's on a like ayahuasca trip, but we don't quite realize that everything we're seeing is both in the dream and out of the dream.
What I love about his use of that technique is, as opposed to kind of the old trope of the double dream wake up, which we saw in Poison for the Fairies, it's a very common technique of wake up from the dream, we're safe. Uh-oh, no, this is actually still the dream. Then we wake up and then we're good.
That's our John Landis. John Landis loves that shit.
Yes, right. And because American Werewolf in London definitely does that trick. And it's a fun trick. I love that trick. And but it is kind of like that's almost like a joke setup, right? Like how many times can I do a triple take? Can I do a quintuple take?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But in this, the way he uses the double dream, it's therefore the trick a little bit, but it's also meant to confuse you some. It blends into the rest of the movie so well that there are moments kind of late in the movie, not every moment, but there are moments late in the movie where you're like, is only Dennis seeing this?
Yeah.
And so we start wondering how much of the non-reality of dreams has bled into real life.
Let's see. Well, we got to go to Lucian's because Lucian, listen, this dude's he fucking owns a hotel.
Uh-huh.
He
does weddings.
He does weddings, bar mitzvahs.
Yep.
Birthday parties. The whole nine.
They're sitting out. The three of them are talking, and they're sitting out in this courtyard of the hotel, and there's this whole performance happening there. So like dancers, it's kind of dance and music and like also fire eating and sticking pins in their cheeks and eating glass.
They're in a trance, and we get this idea that like going into trance state is a very common practice, and it's kind of like in that trance state, the gods can come down and sort of attach themselves to you. Kind of, I think I looked it up, and it's like the term is actually like you become their horse. Like you're not one and the same. They can just sort of boop. They can sort of like plop on top of you, and it puts you in and being in this trance state, which is, again, we're dealing in things that are like parapsychology, parascience, that are very real. Mm-hmm. That this has been known for thousands of years, thousands of years, but science is like, yeah, it's a thing. we can only put EKGs up to people so much and
Yes.
be like, go into a trance state. And you're like, okay, I guess so.
Marielle mentions that the Erzuli, which is the kind of the feminine spirit, the water spirit, the spirit of, love
She's
and
your
femininity.
Venus.
And
she's your
Venus.
love, beauty, love.
She's your Venus. She's your fire.
Yeah.
She's your desire.
Yes, that's it. But then also kind of Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
She is the divine feminine empress.
I love that when she explains to Dennis, more that she's explaining to us. I feel like Dennis would know this as an ethnobiologist. But
Yes,
she
probably.
says, Haiti is 85% Catholic and 110% voodoo.
Yeah.
And the Virgin Mary is Erzuli, which is a great way of explaining kind of the way the cross pollination of religion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, she gets zombie dusted, and she becomes a part of this performance.
Like she's like, I'm out of here, man.
Yeah, I'm not dancing.
But then she gets, but she gets some 120 proof rum in her face, and she's like, okay, sure, why not? I'll do a little dance.
I love that whatever the powder that got blown into her face not only possessed her, but also gave her like full makeup.
Oh, full makeup, complete costume change?
Complete costume change, everything. I want that dust.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful, and she's doing kind of like a seductive dance and things like that. Well, meanwhile, cigar smoking man,
yes,
is there, and during this kind of like drumbeat dance thing, he starts tapping his glass
and like an
arrhythmically.
antithetical, like arrhythmic. And it freaks everyone the fuck out.
And one man becomes fully possessed and starts attacking people. He grabs a knife, starts going after people. Dennis gets up, comes from behind, and crashes a bottle on the back of this man's
because
head.
he's cornered Marielle on the ground. Yeah.
But it does not affect this man one bit, and it is Lucien who shows up with just like a black napkin, puts it over this man's face so he can't see, and he just drops to the ground.
It's also like that we're fighting psychic battles here.
Yes.
So like physically, yes, a man with a knife, very scary. But you can't stop a psychic, like a psychic possessed man with a knife is like something very different and requires a different skill set that our hero or our protagonist, Dr. Dennis, doesn't necessarily have.
They finally find Christoph through Christoph's sister is the one who says, he kind of just lives in this graveyard now.
Yeah.
And so they go to this graveyard and find Christoph. He is vocal, but he is very much like, I don't, oh no, wait, have we met him yet?
Yeah. Like it takes a little while. Like we have to ask around a bit.
Yeah.
We meet the sister. We also meet the sort of the out of town voodoo priestess who's like, I don't know nothing about nothing, man.
Yeah.
And we also get this idea that they are being surveilled at all times. And, the sister is definitely like, let's not talk here. And then we kind of have an argument between Dennis and Marielle, in which she's like, listen, we've gone through 3 graveyards. Again, this is where the kind of film noir, like you don't quite know who to trust, even though this movie makes it very apparent we should be trusted. Like the good people are good and the bad people are bad. But that lasts all of 2 minutes because we find Christoph. And his thing is like, he just keeps saying, I remember everything. Haunted.
Yeah, he was fully alive and cognizant in that grave. And he's also here to sort of set up kind of the lore and the magic of this, the powers of the Bokor, which is the black magic person.
Yes.
Who, one, uses this drug to put you under, but also in the process can take your soul out of your body. So when you are resurrected, you are a zombie. You may be able to function. You may still remember everything, but you are no longer in control of your body because you have no soul. Your soul is it has to be kept in some type of vessel, like all these like little jars or whatever. Like
from Pottery Barn.
Yeah, you put it in a little mason jar and put it up in your cupboard.
And then that sort of black magician can send you off to like attack people in their dreams. And you're like, I can't stop him from doing that to me.
Well, Dennis finds his like room at the hotel fully ransacked, and there's pigs and blood on the wall, and shadow of a person popping around with a knife or a gun in the background. He's like, I can't stay here.
Oops.
Marielle and Lucien both are saying, yeah, times are a bit dangerous because this is late. This movie takes place. This is a period piece. It takes place in the late 70s in Haiti. We had a pretty unstable environment politically happening in Haiti with revolutions brewing against their fascist government. They basically get Lucien to say, we just want to find that powder. And Lucien sends them to a man named Louis Mozart.
Louis Mozart. He's a great character.
Louis Mozart is the most Renaissance man. He is he's a voodoo witch. He seems to run a bar and also works airport security.
Airport security? Cockfighting?
Cockfight? Just he fucking does everything, this man.
Like a long resume for this guy.
Oh, man. His LinkedIn page is a double scroll.
Like real cute fashion sense.
Oh, yes. This whole this straw cowboy hat sort of get up is great.
I love it.
There's some back and forth, a lot of negotiating.
A lot of like, you want to drink a drink? I'll drink a drink. I'll drink a bigger drink than your drink.
Oh, you $100, $100 US. I'll cast a spell on whoever you want, whatever you want done to them. And he's like,
all right.
No, I want the powder. And the guy's like, I don't know anything about powder. Dennis says, come on, Marielle, let's go. He can't help us, even though Lucien said he could.
Oh, Lucien. Oh, my good friend Lucien. Well, Lucien sent you here.
Yeah, give me $1,000 and we'll do it.
He talks him down to 500, which I think is very fair. And it's like, okay, see this goat? Feed the goat some powder. Goat dead.
This goat's so cute.
It's just sleepy. It's sleepy and eepy.
But Dennis, while he's not looking, like reaches down with a pocket knife, grabs the goat's hoof and like carves a marking into the hoof.
It's like, I'm coming back. No, you get your money tomorrow when I see that goat resurrected.
Now I have a question. When he comes back, that's the same. It's not the same goat.
That is not the same goat.
Okay.
That's the whole thing. So he comes back the next day, and Mozart's like, look, a goat.
Yeah.
Dr. Dennis looks at the bottom. He's like, oh, the mark isn't there.
Right.
This is bullshit.
Okay.
And that's when he sort of takes the powder, zombie powder, and he's like, oh, yeah, drinks the whole thing. Because he's like, it's probably like aspirin or something like that. You know, this is clearly not the zombie powder. And also, but it's more about making the show of it in front of Mozart's customers in his bar. It's more about the like, oh yeah, it's the public shaming of it that is kind of, he knows is the leverage that's going to get him to the actual stuff.
Okay, so he knows that Mozart was just trying to trick him out of the money, but is not incompetent. Like, he knows because of Lucien. He knows Mozart knows how to make that fucking powder. It's just Mozart was trying to grift him.
He's like, and
he needed to show up. I can't be grifted, so let's get this shit done. Yeah. Okay.
But first, we have to go on a little pilgrimage, right?
Is this the...
I can't remember why they leave. Because I think this is like Dr. Dennis gets picked up by the police.
Right. Yeah, he gets picked up. He's starting to have like crazy dreams too. He has a dream, like giant snake, and also Christoph with this zombie bride woman.
Yes. Well, that's what happens on the pilgrimage.
Okay.
Because I think he has to like get an initial introduction to Petro as like the big swinging totalitarian dick in town.
Right.
Who is just casually torturing someone in the next room.
Right.
And he's like, what you doing in Haiti? He's like, I don't know. I'm just on vacation. Not looking for zombie powder. He's like, well, you better get out of here, man.
Yeah, so he's having...
But it's a warning. It's a warning first.
He gives him a warning. Dennis is like, no, my American mission is too important for BioCorp.
Yeah, BioCorp.
On this adventure that he and Marielle are on, this is where they follow the Virgin Mary. We do this whole trek. We fall asleep in the woods.
I love this. This is so gorgeous. Like this sort of track again. It's like cast of hundreds of like tracking through the jungle. They sleep overnight in the forest, and there's candles everywhere. Just like gorgeous setting. But yeah, again, is he asleep? Is he awake? Is it a vision? Is it a dream? Because now he's got a python viper just sort of chilling.
This moment when the zombie bride, the squeals she makes are so scary. And the snake, because it's snake coming out of its mouth at him, and
it's like almost language.
Yeah,
it's so creepy, and the way she moves. Ugh, I love a corpse bride. But yeah, Bill Pullman's like, what? And she just like unhinges her jaw, and a snake fully flies at his face.
Yes.
Thank you, Wes Craven.
All right. Let's go to...
We make love in a cave, in a little grotto. We kind of get blessed by the waters.
Yeah,
waters.
I get why the lovemaking scene is here, because it's about the love. It's about the femininity. Yeah. It's about the water. It's all. It's also like kind of showing
us the duality. Where like for every dark magician, there's the multifaceted aspects of sort of magical psychic life.
And also for a Hollywood film, we need to up the stakes for why he has to return later, and why why Haiti is so important to him to get back, because he's got this woman that he needs to save.
If Dr. Duchamp was just like a 60-year-old crusty old man, would he be so gung? Would he be like, oh no, they're my friend Dr. Duchamp,
Okay, so they go back to Mozart next day, do the whole song and dance, embarrass him publicly, and Mozart's like, okay, we'll make the powder you want, but you have to make it with me. Like, there's no other way. You have to be in the process. And they dig up a grave.
In a graveyard at midnight. Now crush that skull.
Yeah, I love this. They dig up like this sorceress who had great power.
The King Arthur cookbook could never.
Julia Child.
But, like, it's freaking Dr. Dennis out because it's the same corpse bride that he dreamt of.
The police are having none of this, and they pull Dennis out of Marielle's house and drag him to the torture room. Petro says, you have such a pretty face. You like your face? I do. He lights up a blowtorch. He says, okay, I'll leave your face. Okay, great. You made your point. I will be on the next plane home. No.
We're going to nail your balls to this chair first. And we get this kind of like, I want to hear you scream, 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 white man, scream. And he's like,
not loud enough. Nailing a scrote to a chair. It's quite
like a fun Sunday night.
Yep. It's quite a choice for the script, I guess.
Yeah.
Thinking about our friend Andy Scahill, like I want to know a lot about masculinity and what it means to be emasculated and things like that.
Actual dick measuring contest is what this movie is in many ways.
I really liked it as a choice because it is such a bold choice to be like, we're going to hammer your scrotum to a chair. It's not only a bold choice to be like, we're going to actually have a character get their genitalia fucked with in a torture scene, but also it would be really hard to film this, not only for ratings, for your NC-17, R rating, whatever, but also there's something about seeing a scrotum that is inherently like gross and funny and weird. Yeah. So there's no showing of it. So it's a tough scene to fill and have people know what happened. So we do a little voiceover later to kind of explain.
Yeah. I think it's almost more about the nudity. The like you're at your most vulnerable when you're naked. So the fact that he's naked strapped to a chair, and then later when they release him, they just like kick him out in his BVDs and his tidy whities onto the street. So it's the humiliation aspect, the vulnerability of like, yeah, we'll take everything from you. You don't even get clothes.
I thought where this went wrong was not here. It's later in the film when Dennis has all of the power and control. Yes. And he does the same thing to Petro.
We'll talk about that
Okay,
because
great.
I don't think that's him.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think those are the spirits of the people that Petro has tortured over the years that are doing that to him.
Oh, I see. Oh, there you go.
Starting or growing your own business can be intimidating and lonely at times. Your to-do list may feel endless with new tasks, and lists can easily begin to overrun your life. So finding the right tool that not only helps you out, but simplifies everything as a built-in business partner can be a game changer. For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. From household names like Gymshark, Rare Beauty, and Heinz, to brands just getting started. Shopify has hundreds of ready-to-use templates that can help you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand's style. And you can tackle all the important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. No need to save multiple websites or try to figure out what platform is hosting the tool that you need. And if people haven't heard about your brand, you can get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you, with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns to reach customers wherever they're scrolling or strolling. Start your business today with the industry's best business partner, Shopify, and start hearing. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. That's shopify.com/realm.
Good sleep is everything. That's why Ollie's Science Bag Support is made with a blend of melatonin and L-theanine for both kiddos and grown-ups. So when your mind won't switch off, you've got something that can help. Your racing thoughts and restless nights won't stand a chance. Find Ollie sleep solutions for the whole family at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com.
Okay, so he's got his warning. Now he's got his corporal punishment warning.
And we're letting the zombie powders on a low simmer for 24 hours.
Uh-huh.
So let's go to the beach, have a little sexy time.
Yep.
Gorgeous scenery. You know, this, oh my God, this fucking beach house, this colorful beach house. Yes, please.
Yes, absolutely.
But he has another dream that night. And I love this because, so the dream is, again, and we kind of know he's in a dream. It seems pretty dreamlike in that there is a boat on fire with like a sort of crucified, like a body crucified on the mast, sailing soundlessly towards him. And he's like, oh no, this seems bad. And the corpse bride comes out, but he sees his little jaguar friend. And I love it because it's like, in this moment, it's a fucked up dream, but it's not necessarily Petro at this point. Like, it's more of a warning, but then it turns fully bad. Then it turns like he is in a deep, dark pit.
Well, and he sees Petro burying him alive because the room that he's in, which is just Mariel's beach house.
Perspective.
Like,
it
turns into a coffin lid with the cross on the front, and dirt is being scooped at the door. But then the camera pivots and he falls backwards into the tomb. And I thought about
Nightmare on Elm Street.
And
in which they do the room, the room turning.
Yeah. I think it was after...
What's her name gets like killed and yeah.
I think it was after we recorded that episode that I had listened to the What Went Wrong about Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's not necessarily what went wrong with Nightmare on Elm Street. They just sort of talk about how movies get made and all the complications. But the man who built that rotating set, Craven didn't have the budget to make something like that. But the guy was like, okay, I'll build this for you. I mean, I need parts, but like I wouldn't charge you for
this is on Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Pay me what you can, but I own this machine. It's my fucking thing.
Oh, shit.
The studio doesn't own it. You don't own it. And that man started using that machine for all kinds of things. I think it was the same one used in the
Dancing on the Ceiling
video.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know if it's the exact same machine, but it was, I believe, the same guy. Anyways, but that forced perspective, I mean, it is, that movie, the opening death of Nightmare on Elm Street is the set piece of all set piece deaths in slasher horror. Just horror. Just
And that
killer
because
horror.
it's this woman being attacked by an unseen assailant up the wall, on top of the ceiling, down the other side.
With no Peter Pan stage play pulley system. No.
And you also see a second actor witnessing the entire thing. So you have a perspective view so you kind of know which end is up. And it just makes you go, how the fuck did they do this? I love this so much.
And the way that he flips here with Dennis at the door, and it's the camera turning, but you can't see the camera turning because the whole screen just pivots.
Yeah.
And he's
and it's
on
like
his
the
back.
dirt is falling. Yeah, the dirt is falling horizontally into his face.
Yeah.
Mindfuck.
It's so crazy. And then immediately that coffin fills with blood as he's screaming. And then he wakes up. He's like, Marielle, wake up. Oh!
This is so fucked up.
This is so scary.
You know, you're talking about like the dream freak out. You're like, you're kind of expecting like, oh, okay, he's going to wake up because that body is very inert.
Yes.
Something is wrong. It's probably another dream. No. That is a decapitated woman in real life. The dirty cops show up. They take pictures of him.
It's Christoph's sister.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. The police burst in not only with guns drawn, but cameras drawn.
Because then they're like, look, you killed this woman.
Yeah.
We have proof. The American embassy won't help you now.
Petro shows Dennis all of the souls he's stolen. He's just got a whole library.
This is the most Bond villain bullshit, though.
Yeah.
Let me explain to you how you could potentially defeat me.
This is a weird moment where yes, this is evil Bond villain thing. It's also a little bit of sometimes in a screenplay or in fiction writing, you kind of have to say like, all right, I need to explain to the viewer, to the reader, why I'm not doing the obvious thing.
Yeah,
because there's a
just
moment,
like bang.
Because Petro says, go home now or you'll be executed and I'll take your soul. It'll be worse than death. And he says, okay, but what will happen to Marielle? And he says, you just go home. She's already home. She's Haitian. I don't need to hurt her. And I'm like, wait, that hasn't stopped you from hurting other Haitians. Like the whole reason they did Christoph wrong was because he was a school teacher
who was like outspoken about
like anti-fascist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also been very clear that Marielle's father was an anti-fascist.
Yes.
She's an anti-fascist.
So why wouldn't you hurt her? Like that doesn't. Anyway, basically, it's all a lie. Like he's planning to hurt her and hurt Dennis. He's not going to let any of this go. But I do love this when Dennis agrees to leave. And the last thing Petro says to him, he says, "Hey, what did you dream about this afternoon?" You dreamt about me. And then he describes the dream of the grave. He says, just know like, I can be there anytime you close your eyes.
I'll fuck you up, man. Like the torture of the body. Yeah, I'll nail your scrot to a chair. That sucks. But when I do it in your dreams, that's when you're going to really be like, oh no.
I had to fan myself during this Pan Am airplane scene, Cecil.
Yeah.
There's so much happening here that in a post 9/11 world, it's hard to even remember what plane travel was like.
It was like a bus. You just got onto a bus. People who weren't even on that flight could get on with you.
Yep.
They'd kiss you goodbye. I mean, probably not like you'd have a really good reason to get onto the flight, but you could still get on the flight. Sometimes you'd even be like, can I just buy a ticket right now?
I just want you to just imagine yourself on your flight. You're sitting in row
international
flight.
Not even domestic.
You're in Haiti. You're heading home to Boston, wherever you're from.
Yeah.
DC. And you're sitting in like 10D, right? You're on the aisle. You're just kind of looking up from your magazine, looking up from your Nintendo Switch, whatever. And you see people getting on board. And what you see an armed security man with a video game beard holding a gun. And he takes a sweaty, disheveled, bloodied white man with torn clothes
and handcuffed
at gunpoint and throws him into seat 1A and says, never come back. What's going through your mind at that point?
Influencer.
You got your camera phone out and everything.
Yeah, you're doing this for the likes, aren't you?
Yeah.
This is a scene.
I also love that, like, Pan Am just straight up was like Southwest Airlines, right? I guess. I don't know. Like, there's no first class. You just, 1A is the same as 38F.
Yeah. I mean, it's the idea that these people control so much of the infrastructure that they can literally be like, you're on the next flight to whoever was sitting in that chair.
But while he's sitting there, you can see out the window, they're all just eyeing him. And meanwhile, like, the catering crew comes in from the other side of the plane, from their sky bridge. And they're loading food and whatever else. Well, goddamn Louis Mozart is on that wearing a security shirt. And I'm like, how does security work at Port-au-Prince?
You just need a t-shirt. Again, he does everything on this island.
And he brings in that little mustard jar full of the powder that they made.
And he's like, Dr. Dennis is like, listen, they took all my money. But I totally pinky swear that I will tell everyone that you are Voodoo Master.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll take your watch. Good enough. Which kind of fucks.
Yeah.
Which I love. Again, it's like, this is like it serves the plot in a great character driven kind of way, but it also, for the rest of the movie, it serves the plot in like later when Louis Mozart gets captured, Petro uses Dennis's watch as his object of power in one of my favorite scenes in this movie.
Okay, so back at BioCorp, we are studying this thing.
Science. On an IBM dot matrix computer.
I do appreciate that this is the use of computers here looks way more like how computers might have looked in 1988 as opposed to fucking, I know it was, or 1978, because this movie takes place in 1978, as opposed to The Swarm, which is a 1978 film where the computer just has like one word in 180-point font.
Yes.
That has to scroll slowly.
Computing.
But in the study, they're like, hey,
so this shit's really powerful.
The powder basically shuts down the part of your brain that controls the body, but it leaves fully functional the part of your brain that perceives everything.
Vision, all that. And we don't even know. We're like feeling thoughts. It seems like you're fully conscious.
Yeah, fully conscious. So if you were to use this drug on somebody and bury them alive, 12 hours later, they would have full faculties and be fucked, but they would have been clinically dead.
Yeah.
For a bit.
But maybe not so great for anesthesia because you would feel everything that happens to you.
Yes.
So maybe not so awesome.
This is this weird moment that I just needed to be explored more, where we cut to this dinner party to celebrate this drug and Dennis's return, and we've got the head of BioCorp and his wife, Dr. Cassidy and Deborah, his wife. The thing is, we just heard this thing about like how this drug is effectively useless and dangerous. It's not useless. I mean, the uses it has, we've only heard described.
They can't use it. Yeah, they can't use it in the way that they had hoped to make trillions of dollars.
It's not like fentanyl, which has like actual usage, can be used for evil, but also is theoretically
used quite frequently in the medical community.
Yeah. The way they describe this drug here is we cannot use this. This would be very bad.
Probably not.
But then we cut to this party where they're kicking around like, what do we name it? Zombinol? Something for this new product for this launch? And we're like, wait, what launch?
What are you doing with this? Yeah. Under what set of circumstances are people just going to be popping this shit at home?
Show me your plan for Zombinol. I need to know more.
I'm so tired. I could sleep like the dead. Do you need a 3-day staycation?
Do you need to get out of a work event?
Yeah. You're like, oh, I died.
Oh.
But then I shook it off.
I fucking love this dinner party, Cecil.
So Dr. Dennis is like on edge.
Yeah.
Because they're like talking about zombies and, oh my God, the Zombinol. And there's a little kid present. And Dr. Dennis is like, I gotta get out of here. And he talks to Mike, Schoonbacher, Alfred,
Scotty, he calls him, or Scony, something like that.
No,
yeah.
he's Alfred from Batman. Come on, let's be honest. And he's like, yeah, like my friend is fucked. She's fucked.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like shit. I'm sure it's nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
But then at dinner, they're having some soup. Is there anything grosser than like split pea soup, green soup?
When you get the Beetlejuice hand coming out of it. See, I make a very good split pea soup, but I have not been able to master the zombie hand part of it.
Dude, if I ever come to your house and you serve a soup and there's like a hand just sticking out of it, like I will stand and applaud you for like a full 2 minutes.
Put on my Harry Belafonte record. It'll be great.
Shrimp hands. And he's like, yeah, my tummy's all messed up.
Yeah.
My tummy, I got deli belly. I don't know. And they're like, oh, well, we'll get you a salad. And then Mrs. Cassidy starts eating her wine glass.
Well, she's like, a toast.
Yes.
See, so when she starts biting that wine glass, I was like,
I love it. And what's even greater is the sort of subtle color tracking, because we're seeing Petro with like a full black and red regalia with all of his evil team is assembled, and they're having he's he's killing Louis Mozart. Is he going to do? No, that's later. But he's in red, his power color. Mrs. Cassidy is wearing this red dress, so she's like a vessel for possession. Just like little subtle shit like that.
Yeah, and she grabs Dennis. She says in his voice, in Petro's voice, "You're gonna die. You've been warned." Shucks him across the room and comes at him with a knife. And then finally the spirit leaves and she goes into spasms. Again, we always say at the end of horror movies, I want to see the police report. I want to see this family. I want to see the family drama of life after Deborah. Like, that's the spinoff movie I want, of like, how do Deborah recover from this?
What's the next day for her like?
Yep.
She'll take like a Xanax. I'm sure she's fine.
I'm just thinking about how much pain it is to like bite the inside of your lip or the cheek when you get your cheek,
like biting on a wallet.
Well, and she's fully like ate a fucking Riedel wine glass. Yeah,
glass. Yeah.
Okay, Dennis is heading right back to Haiti.
I know. I love it's like he gets the ultimate warning of like, don't come back here, and he's like, nope,
gotta go back.
I am full protagonist here.
Yeah. Well, and he also knows that this is where he knows that Petro was lying to him about everything.
Petro will never stop coming. It doesn't matter what he does. Petro is going to kill Marielle. He's going to fuck with Dr. Dennis for the rest of his known life. So it's like the only way out is to have a face-off.
Although I will say that I don't think that Petro was lying to him that like, I'm not going to mess with these people. I think the fact is that it's the like, don't turn around or turn to a pillar of salt, and he turned around and everything turned to a pillar of salt. Because the thing is that Mozart slipped him that powder on the plane. Mm-hmm. And had Mozart not done that, I do wonder, is everyone's in the clear?
Like he would have sent a warning vision, or like a scary vision, but been like, I don't fucking care what happens in Boston. Yeah. And I think there's some voiceover from Dr. Dennis that's like, because I am analyzing the secrets of Petro's ultimate weapon that he's been using for like 15 plus years to control an entire community of people. It's his pride. Again, it's all a dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
Like, I figured out it was the bufo toad venom. It's the fucking pufferfish venom. I unraveled his secrets. So now it's extra personal.
He gets back there. Lucien basically heads off the secret police at the pass by basically I love this again. It's like the fake dream.
I'm an American citizen, and people are like, uh-oh, somebody's being abducted.
He gets straight up abducted out of that plane. I'm like, oh well, this is gonna end quickly, but it's Lucien's men picking him up. Okay, so Lucien does the this reminds me of Hoichi the Earless. This reminds me of Encounters of the Spooky Kind, like the like getting the sigils on your body, getting the script on your body to protect you.
Yep.
It doesn't do much. Spoiler.
Yeah, well, I think it's because Petro is going after Lucien.
Yeah.
And as soon as Lucien goes, those sigils are kind of null and void.
Yeah.
/ also he gets a face full of zombie dust. This sequence is horrifying.
Yeah, so Lucien puts the blood crosses on Dennis on his chest and his face, and then he gives him
like
a rosary.
Yeah.
And as Lucien's kind of saying goodbye, I love the way this death scene starts because he's about to go out the gate of his hotel. He's about to leave, and you can see people in the background, and they all turn and start looking at him. It's very subtle, but it's really good. It's a really good effect to let you know. We already know something bad is going to happen, but to just accentuate it even more through that is great.
What are his last words? It's something like highly ironic. Like,
oh, yeah.
He's like, we all must stand up and fight.
But yeah. Well, he starts coughing blood, spasming. He hits the ground, and a giant black scorpion crawls out.
Yeah, that's not good. And it's because Petrode has killed Louis Mozart. And he's using his blood. So, like, magician blood, if you're going to attack another wizard, you need wizard blood to do that.
Oh, yeah, because right before this is when Mozart gets beheaded.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And, like, Petrode slips the watch off.
Yep.
Because so now Dr. Dennis has been zombie dusted, and he has an object of his in order to control him.
And the way he stumbles through this village, and we get a lot of POV cam.
It's like a 2-minute one shot, like no breaks, and it's just Bill Pullman running up to people. Like he's like yellow on his kind of yellow pollen on his face from the zombie dust. He's got the cross still, and he's just begging people to help him. And they're like, "Do not touch me, please." But it's all one shot of like going in and out of streets into like little alleys. It's kind of fucking great. It reminds me a lot of the early Wes Craven, the like Last House on the Left, the sort of handheld chaoticness that you get from a handheld one shot.
Well, when he finally collapses down, he tells the crowd,
Don't let them burn me.
Don't let them bury me. I'm not dead.
Oh, I thought he said, don't let them burn. Like, don't burn my corpse.
Oh, no. I thought he said, don't bury me. I'm not dead. But it could be don't burn.
Either of us could be.
Either
right.
way.
I was like, if you bury him, he's, but like if he dies, quote unquote, and they burn him, oh, he for real dead.
Well, I think he's afraid of the burial because he's afraid of being controlled. Because he's afraid of something worse than death. Like it's not like I'm afraid of dying, but I'm way more afraid of being buried alive and uncertain.
And then we get him being dead in the point of view, and Petro comes in to the nice, clueless white doctor. He's like, no. I'll contact the embassy. I'll take care of everything.
I love this ACAB bullshit here. It's so good because he's like, yeah, no, don't worry, doctor. We'll take care of this. It's all good. And the doctor's like, well, yeah, of course. I trust the police.
Well, he's like with a sneer on his face, like, well, at least somebody on your end takes like it. You can kind of see the insider outsider, like Dr. Sans Frontier.
Yeah.
But also like, I'm stuck in this place in which you just have to roll with the corruption.
Well, we get the whole fucking burial. And as they bury him, they throw in a tarantula in there just to keep you company.
Just for funsies. That tarantula ain't going to do shit.
That tarantula's not going to do shit other than just freak you out because it's been crawling on your fucking face and you can't move.
No, it's a little furry puppy. It's a little... And we get some great... I mean, Bill Pullman has so many animals thrown at him in this fucking movie because it's like crawling over his face, like into his eyeball.
Ugh.
I also love that. So they bury him and then we get like a full 30 seconds of silence or of darkness.
Darkness. And him
and Bill Pullman screaming, and which is class act.
It's great, and also the sound work here is really good because it's not just it's the build to the screaming, because you hear him kind of like start to move inside, that he's getting control of his body again. He's panting, which says body is coming too. But also some of the sounds of him rustling around, they're mixed with distant sounds of people hearing him and coming to him, and those sounds get louder and louder and louder, and we see
he's screaming, and I love it. Like we pull back, there's like no one around. It just screams inside of cemetery at night.
It's so good.
But then somebody's unburying him.
It's Kristoff.
Oh, Kristoff, literally the only person on Earth who kind of understands what Dr. Dennis is going through.
And he says, you're alive. Petro has your soul. This is who you are now. That poison is bad, and you can see things that the living cannot see. You are a zombie, my friend.
And he's stumbling through the town at night, and people are like, zombie, get away. But Deus Ex Machina.
The revolution has begun.
Which apparently is actual archival footage of the leader of Haiti, like, vacating the country. And everybody's like, take it to the streets.
Fuck off, Duvaliers. You're out of fucking here.
Which is great cover for Dennis.
Yes.
To get to the police department.
Yeah, because nobody's paying attention to Blanc walking the streets here.
No. And Marielle has also, we're having again, the full voodoo evil ritual. They're going to sacrifice Marielle.
They're going to behead her. They're about to, but those protesters interrupt.
Mm-hmm. There's like 4 cops outside, and like 400 people are like, Liberté, Liberté.
As this is all falling apart, we're not going to be able to execute Marielle. A lot of the cops are dealing with the...
Yeah, they're just like, push her in a hole. We'll deal with this.
Yeah, we'll deal with this later. But now we have kind of a showdown. We have a showdown between Petro and Dr. Dennis Allen.
But it's like psychic.
Mm-hmm.
Because he literally just has to go downstairs. But, like at one point, like Petro puts his hands on Marielle's head so he can speak with her voice. And the creepy, like, oh no, like damsel in distress.
Yeah, he's doing psychic vision and sound work on old Dennis to lure him there. And then he's controlling Lucien's body.
Pulls off his own head and chucks it at him.
Again, great scare is man who is too long, arms that are too long, coming out of these cells, grabbing at him.
The arms that is too... I thought that was kind of cheesy. Because they're not as, like, articulate as I want them to be. They're just... You know what I'm saying?
They're pool noodles with hands taped to the end,
Like, it's a cool look. But then in practice, it's a little like, okay, I kind of get it. What I love is when Dennis kind of like opens a door, and again, another perspective shift. And now he's in fucking Labyrinth. When did Labyrinth come out? Because this is quite...
84? 83?
So literally the same year. Wait.
No, this is 1988 or 89. This movie.
88. Okay, so we've got like Spirit Tunnel filled with hands. We've got MC Escher Labyrinth.
Yep.
So we've got quite a, kind of a Labyrinth crossover here.
Well, now we're into this big fight with Petro, who is frying Dennis's brain, basically. Yeah. And Marielle, is like, I know what I'll do. I can see his little library of souls in Canopic jars. So
when she recognizes something that belongs to Lucien.
She grabs Lucien's jar.
Lucien, help us!
And Lucien's animal is the jaguar, which goes back to
Dennis's.
Well, when she okay, I got confused here because she smashes Lucien's jar.
Yes.
And out from the jar comes the spirit of the jaguar.
I think it just kind of reveals, I think it's more of like, it reveals Dennis is operating at a spiritual level. Like, like that.
Okay.
That spirit animal has kind of been like on him, attached to him. And it's just this moment in which the spirit world is revealed.
By unlocking Lucien's jar.
Yeah. And we see the ghost Lucien kind of bum rush Petro.
Yes.
And you can see Petro, and you can also see Marielle being like, oh shit, oh, he has like more magic than we thought he did.
Yeah, and then now as the Jaguar, Dennis the Jaguar man smashes all of the canisters.
Souls.
You get a soul, and you get a soul, and you get a soul. And Petro gets tortured by all these released souls, and then he fully bursts into flames. We do not do... Listen, here's my old man rant.
Yeah?
Films don't do stuntman in a fire suit anymore.
Man on fire.
We don't do true man on fire anymore. Like CGI has taken this from us.
I know, right? I hate CGI fire. It never looks right.
No.
It's because it always burns too cleanly.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's like smoke and ash, and like it doesn't burn uniformly. It's the second only to CGI mist exhale.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You know, where they're like, oh, it's so cold. And like the perfect little puff of mist. I'm like, that's dumb. Stop doing this. But yeah, Petro fully on fire, falls into a pile of skulls, disappears.
Oh, this house has a skull feature. That's nice.
What's the square footage? Can I charge this extra for my Airbnb?
So we're not leaving yet because we got to go. He says, I'm not leaving that thing in one piece, is what he says.
Yes. So Marielle and Dennis kind of are upstairs, and he sees the torture chair. And he's like, I got to disassemble this thing.
Oh, is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
Why? I guess I got lost on the logic of how Petro work.
Well, okay, so we think Petro is dead because clearly he was on fire and then he disappeared. I think it's more that Dr. Dennis is like, we've killed one horrible head, but if we leave this instrument of torture behind, this is just how I read it. If we leave the torture instrument behind, whoever comes in next will just fall into the same pattern. So I want to destroy it.
That makes sense.
It's
his go back for the cat, go save the cat sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also see it as you actually kind of get this in a different version of this in the movie Constantine, which is kind of the trauma haunted house theory, which is like an object that has been used for torture or such bad stuff, high-powered emotions, like a haunted house, have happened. The physical thing maintains that psychic impression.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Craven didn't put that together for me the way you just did.
It's happening real fast at this point.
That makes perfect sense. But it's at this moment that Petro shows back up, because Petro didn't disappear because he died. Mm-hmm. He disappeared because he's a bad witch.
Yeah. But he's burnt up as fuck.
Yeah, he looks rough.
Crispy.
Yeah, he's going to need a skin routine after this.
Get that Jergens out.
Yeah, full on like Hollywood action adventure fight, like the type of punches that send you flying in the air 10 feet.
Oh, yeah.
Lines like, you're coming with me to hell.
I want to see you scream. But like Petro is definitely, he's on... It's losing battle for him.
Yeah.
But I love this. He's kind of, him and Dr. Dennis are sort of tussling. And this is where the chair sits itself up, moves across the floor, and kind of seats Petro in it, in which I was thinking it's the spirit of Lucien. It's the spirit of all the people that he has tortured kind of have Marielle says something very early on when she first encounters Petro, and, he's all bragging. He's like, I can do all sorts of shit. And Marielle's like, who knows the gods just as well as he does. She's like, yeah, but what's coming to you is even worse. And I think this is his comeuppance. And they strap him down. And that railroad spike flies through the air right in the dick.
Scrote spiking.
But yeah, dragged into hell. Which honestly, one great bad guy. Like from moment one, this is an awesome villain.
Yeah.
And I love that he gets an appropriately awesome send-off.
Well, and then the way that chair drags him down to hell is so great.
And Marielle's like, hey, are you coming? And we realize it was all kind of on the the psychic plane that this scene was happening.
Yeah.
Because the chair is gone.
Yeah, because the way she is talking to him, it's like she didn't see any of that shit.
Nope.
Like nothing just happened. The nightmare is over, is our kind of closing thought.
Mm-hmm. And it's like people in the streets celebrating. Dennis and Marielle are like, damn, that was close. Title card.
Yeah, the voodoo zombie witchcraft as kind of the metaphor for the Duvalier's fascist regime there in Haiti as well, which is really interesting. That voodoo is not only the thing that enslaves but also frees, and it depends on how you use the power that you have.
It's like you can only use the dark magic so much and so liberally until the people are like, we're tired of being oppressed.
Yeah.
And disappeared and zombified and killing our leaders, and eventually you overstep in your evilness.
The end. Shall we rate this movie?
Yes, let's.
All right. How approachable is The Serpent and the Rainbow? If you are horror movie squeamish, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not at all approachable, 10 being very approachable, I'd give The Serpent and the Rainbow like 4 out of... Yeah, I'd give it like 4 out of 5 flaming coffins. It's, it's Wes Craven. It's a very like, kind of like stark, classy drama thriller.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, sometimes we'll say it's a thriller with horror elements, and it is, but like these are sharp horror elements. Like it's not just like little hints and treats.
We're not fucking around here.
No, it's not just like they used creepy face on the back of the scene or whatever. No, this is one where like there's a decapitation in a bed. There's snakes coming out of that fucking zombie bride just rips her whole mouth open at one point in time.
Lots of corpses. Lots of decaying corpses. Corpses that talk. Corpses that move. Corpses that don't move. Corpses made into ingredients in a potion.
There's, your classic things. You got your torture. You got your blood. You got your gore. You got your gloopy, gloppy zombie stuff. Your jump scares. There's a spider. There's a snake. There's a scorpion. I don't know. 4 out of 5. 4 out of 10. Is our scale of approachability. So middle ground on the edge toward not that approachable if you're squeamish about this shit. But to speak nothing of approachability, how do you rate this as a horror film, Cecil?
I like it a lot. I think it's pretty balanced as a horror film. Like, the horrific elements are there, the high level of practical effects, but then there's quite a bit of talking to let you kind of like let your adrenaline sort of go back to base level before the next horror sequence. It's not the nonstop, it has more ups and downs. It's more subtle than that. And I think it's kind of an interesting story as well. The trueness of it is debatable, but it makes for a good tale. So for that, I would say 6 out of 10 scrote goats.
God damn it. Scrote goat. Okay. Let's figure out what movie we will watch next. You've got a scare die. I've got a style die. We'll roll those up and see what movie matches those two things. Cecil, on your scare die, if you roll a 1, our next movie scare is clowns or dolls. 2, a ghost. 3, a conspiracy. 4, a psycho killer. 5, 4 or more legs. Or 6, demonic.
That's a 5.
4 or more legs.
Legs for days.
Okay. We're going to match your 4 or more legs to the style that I roll. If we roll a 1, wild card, whatever kind of 4+ legs movie we want. 2, a 1-word title. 3, something from the decade of the 2000s. 4, it's got to be based on a book or other media. 5, a bottle movie. Or 6, it is not for the squeamish. All right, what kind of legs movie are we going to have? I got a 3. It's got to be from the 2000s. 4+ legs.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. So we wrote down a few ideas, and we also have a Letterboxd account. We are at Random Horror 9 on Letterboxd, and you can look at all the lists of possible die rolls and contribute in the comments to movies we might have missed. So here's what came immediately to mind for the aughts with 4+ legs. The Mist.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of legs.
Lots of legs going on in this one.
We also have The Breed. Is this an alligator movie? Oh,
yes.
This is a bear movie, right?
Bear movie, that's it.
This is bear. Oh, a wolf movie. Sorry. I thought that was a bear for a second. I don't know wolf from bear.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Ravenous dogs in the woods. Yep. This is The Breed. Okay, fun.
That's cute. That's cute.
We've got the remake of Willard.
Yeah.
Crispin Glover with evil rats.
Crispin Glover and his rat friends.
We have another movie called Prey. Not related to the Dutch Prey about a lion on the loose.
This is another lion, though, but it's a lion in Africa.
Great. Stop naming your movies Prey. And then, of course, we have The Human Centipede.
4+ legs, man.
4 or more legs. That's totally true.
That's why I put it on there.
Let us see what else people on the Letterboxd had to say, Cecil.
Monstrum recommends the animated film 9 from 2009.
Oh, yeah.
About a living cloth doll that awakens in a post-apocalyptic world and finds out what happens, why he's alive. Several robots with 4 or more legs.
Okay.
Watch Radio recommends 8-Legged Freaks.
Of course.
It tells you in the title, there's 8 legs from 2002. And they know that you hate spiders, but immersion therapy can work wonders.
Oh, thank you, Watch Radio. I really appreciate that.
A small desert town with a conspiracy theorist radio DJ crosses an industrial accident with too many spiders and gets giant spiders. And a metaphor for failed capitalism. Young Scarlett Johansson and a surprisingly okay David Arquette.
I'm not mad at a David Arquette.
I always thought he was great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to watch him do Hamlet, but he's
sure.
Super cute, though. Katie and quite a few other people recommended Alien vs. Predator 2004.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would say those Alien, like Predator, 2 legs.
Alien
4 legs, right?
Yeah, they run like a quadruped.
Yeah, like more beastly, right? Yeah. Half Price Horror recommends Lake Placid 2 from 2007. The franchise just gets sillier and sillier as it goes on, but if you're in the mood, you'll definitely find it here, featuring Cloris Leachman.
Oh my goodness.
Taking over for Betty White as the sassy old lady.
I love it.
So Lake Placid, alligator, right?
Yes.
Crocodile?
Yeah.
Something like that. L recommends Insectidal.
Insecticidal.
Thank you for, I swear to God, I can sound out words. Insecticidal, 2005. A bug-loving sorority girl experiments on insects to try to raise their intelligence, but when one of her sisters tries to eradicate them via bug spray, the bugs begin to mutate into flesh-eating giants.
Whoa.
Mostly Ellie recommends Reign of Fire from 2002. Dragons. Dragons have 4 legs.
Sure.
Action horror about dragons taking over the world, forcing humans underground until Matthew McConaughey shows up in the most inexplicable show, American Military Machismo. So bad, it's excellent. I love this one. It's so dumb and so ridiculous and great. Hal Romalro recommends Possum and just says, if you know, you know.
And I don't, and I'm curious.
Ashy Slashy recommends Ginger Snaps 2.
Yeah.
As well as Ginger Snaps Back, both from 2004. One of them apparently is Ginger Snaps 2 picks up not long after the first movie. And Ginger Snaps Back is the prequel set in the 1800s. And they said kind of think movie by way of Ravenous kind of thing. Malison recommends Pitch Black 2000.
Is this Vin Diesel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally, Vin Diesel and Dame Judi Dench in a movie together.
Yes.
The pairing you've always wanted to see. I think this is Pitch Black. No, that was a different movie. After crash landing on a strange planet, the survivors realize they have more to worry about than one another. So sort of big creature aliens. I've never actually seen this movie, so I couldn't really tell you. And let's see. Ace Diamond recommends Isolation 2005. A remote Irish farm, cows undergoing experiments to breed faster-growing stock show off exactly how well their treatment has been working when a litter of mutated calves begin hunting down every other living thing on the farm. This is the most fucked up version of Animal Farm I've ever heard of. And finally, Sid recommends Mimic 2 from 2001.
Okay.
And Mimic 3 from 2003.
Okay, sure.
Saying it is a dumpster fire. Do with that what you will.
Okay. I love Mimic 2 is a treasure. Mimic 3 is a dumpster fire.
Hey.
Thank you, Sid.
Depends on what kind of evening you want to have.
I've not even seen Mimic 1. These are like the roaches or bug things in the sewer. I forget.
Yeah, it's like we have some sort of ancient talisman that unlocks a bug creature.
Okay. That's fun. From
the 90s at the Field Museum in Chicago.
Oh, great. Love the Field. Well, I think I know which movie you want to see, and I would be super down. We got a lot of support for it on the Letterboxd if that's the one I'm thinking of. And is that one Human Centipede?
It is.
Uh-huh.
Just because I think it's like clearly we're going to get a lot of animal films.
Yes.
But the idea of like you become the 4+ leg scare.
Yeah.
Is kind of unique. If I had to pick another one, I think 8-Legged Freaks is a really great example, kind of more traditional, look, big scary spiders. It also looks early 2000s as fuck.
Yes.
And then also The Mist is a classic that you've seen, right?
I still have not seen it. I know this. I mean, I've read the novella.
It is the most, it's the most Stephen King it can possibly be. And it kind of is it's like, has no right being as good as it is.
I know Marcia Gay Harden plays the religious fanatic.
She's the fucking best in this movie. Andre Braugher is awesome. Like, listen, it's one of those movies, like, it came out in 2007 in a kind of a time when horror was not doing so good. And people were like, this movie actually has more going on than it has any right to be.
I'm most excited about The Mist, just because I haven't seen it. And I love a Stephen King. I know the story. I'm curious about what the movie does with that written word. But I feel like duty bound to Human Centipede in a way, because there's something about...
I don't know. I wouldn't say that at all.
I only feel duty bound in the sense that it's one of those scares that doesn't come up a whole lot.
Sure.
It's like it's one of those movies that doesn't fit into a lot of different categories.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas The Mist pops up in a lot of different ways, is what I'm saying.
More monster.
So there is part of me that's like, oh, it's a Human Centipede.
Yeah.
Also, it looks so upsetting to me.
But you've not seen it either?
I've not seen it. No, it looks really fucking upsetting.
Oh, two great movies that Jeffrey. I would say, shall we flip for it? These are they're very different experiences.
Yeah.
One is way more action-oriented.
Yes.
Very Stephen King, very American point of view. And the other one is much more closer to Hostel. Americans abroad getting into wacky adventures up in Germany.
Yeah. I think the biggest support, if it matters, from Letterboxd was for Human Centipede and 8-Legged Freaks.
Yeah.
And a couple people for Alien versus
Predator.
Yeah. So those were the big three.
Could be fun as fuck.
We could also roll if we thought we had 6 movies that really...
I think we could, because Willard is a great dark horse contender.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's roll for it. Let's one out of 6.
So we know Human Centipede.
Number 1.
We also know The Mist.
Yep.
We should do 8-Legged Freaks because...
8-Legged Freaks.
We should...
Alien versus Predator.
AVP.
Willard. And then we need one more.
One last one. We could fully wildcard it with Mimic 2 or Ginger Snaps 2 or something, but...
I would rather do something like...
9?
Pitch Black, Reign of Fire.
Oh, Reign of Fire.
Just because, I think 9 it's a really interesting movie. Yeah, I guess it does have multiple legs. It's a lot of Tim Burton-esque dolls gone wrong with too many legs.
I mean, Reign of Fire looks ridiculous and more kind of your modern day
action movie
Conan the Barbarian type of
kinda
vibe.
Yeah. Like it's much, I mean, and then honestly, the same for Pitch Black is much more sci-fi action. But I think it does have some like scary aliens in it where we get our +4 legs. Rogue, 2007.
Oh yeah, Rogue comes
Australian
up a lot.
outback, man-eating crocodile. I think I missed that one. That's a classic.
That is a
Giant
classic.
crocodile.
Maybe that's the way to go. Like I liked that we did a scary movie. I'd like to do a couple more before we get back too much into craziness. So let's do Rogue as number 6.
Love a giant crocodile. Yeah.
It is, I believe, your turn to roll now,
Okay.
Cecil.
All right.
So let me tell you the list. Number 1, Human Centipede. Number 2, The Mist. 3, Eight-Legged Freaks. 4, Alien v Predator. 5, Willard. Or 6, Rogue U.
That's a 2.
I'm sorry, Human Centipede heads. We're doing The Mist, but I'm very excited for this.
Get ready for a wild ride.
I am very excited to get to Human Centipede at some point in time, and I'm not at all excited to get to Eight-Legged Freaks, but I know one day we probably will, and we will figure out how to navigate our way through immersion therapy.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you, Cecil, for talking with me. If you have thoughts on The Serpent and the Rainbow, or ideas for movies from the 2000s with 4+ legs, let us know. We're at Random Horror 9 on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Patreon. The Patreon discussion threads are open to all members, including free members. So watch The Mist from, 2007 with us this week, and come on back next Tuesday with a new episode. Have a restful night with no scorpions coming out of your mouth or nothing. Boo.
Boo.
Random Number Generator Horror Podcast number 9 is hosted by me, Jeffrey Craner, and Cecil Baldwin. Find more of our work on the podcast Welcome to Night Vale. This show is produced by Night Vale Presents. It is edited by me with music by Cecil and logo by David Baldwin. See original artwork for each episode by David on Instagram. Join us for live streams on Patreon. Watch our recording sessions on YouTube. Chat with us on Blue Sky and contribute to our movie selection process on Letterboxd. We're in all of those places at Random Horror 9. Today's scary story. You are buried alive, but thankfully it is an above-ground tomb. 3 beds, 2 baths, with stunning river views.
You can't reason with the sun. Trust us, we've tried. This summer, it's time to put that angry ball of fire on mute. Columbia's Omni-Shade technology is engineered to protect you from the sun's harsh rays that can burn and damage your skin. The sun is relentless, but so is our gear. Level up your summer at Columbia.com to spend more time outside and less time slathering on aloe lotion. You're welcome. Columbia, engineered for whatever.